Hello. I know it doesn't look like it right now because there's sun coming through, but it's been rainy, it's been cold, and I'm a little grumpy because I've tried to record this casual video like 4 times already, but it's just, the rain starts up and I don't want you to be hearing pitter patter, pitter patter, pitter 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 patter. But I'm gonna try again. So here we go. Today I'm gonna talk about the first year and a half of living in a van, our experience. But first, I'm working on a video where I'll be showing you guys how we cook in the van. So I bought this. Whoa, it's a vegetable steamer. Kind of looks like a metallic jellyfish, or like something that like what's his name, Indiana Jones would be like, ooh, trying to open, and then bah, and then like explosions. Do we have the budget for explosions? Probably not. So the first little while of living in the van, maybe the first 2 weeks to a month, I'll say, is a little strange because you're still taking it all in. Or actually, I'll rephrase that. You're still offloading all the I was gonna say trauma, but more like baggage, all the heavy weight, all the thoughts that you've been having over the last year, because it took us probably maybe about 9 months from the day we decided, no, this is what we're gonna work towards, living in the van, to actually starting day one, because I didn't have a license yet. So I had to work on my license. We had to find a van and build out the van, figure out how we wanted to build out the van, and all that took time. It took a long time, a lot of I don't know if it was stress, but a lot of thinking, a lot of just planning out, how are we gonna do this, how are we gonna do that, and even when you finally start, it's kind of like you're adapting to this new way of life, and it takes you a few days, weeks, like I said, maybe up to a month to be able to sit back, lay back, relax, and be like, wow, I've been living in this van. I like it. Overall, I've liked it. I've enjoyed it. I think she's enjoyed it too, but I give it a 4 out of 5. 4 out of 5. Could be better. Like I said, it's been raining and it's been cold. And I didn't sleep very well last night. I sleep well most nights, but if it's raining, if it's very light rain, like that's fine. But if it's that heavy stuff that just kind of randomly picks up and then goes away and then picks up, I can't sleep. So I didn't sleep very well last night. I woke up at like 4 in the morning, 4:30, something like that. So some things to note during the first year and a half. The very first night was probably the worst night because, like I said, we didn't know what to do. We didn't know where to sleep. I've been in the subreddits and I see what other people say and how they explain what sort of parking lots, like the one I'm at now, that generally you can sleep at without being harassed or asked to leave, but we didn't feel comfortable doing that. So the very first night in the van, I don't consider it the first night, but the actual first night was at a campground. We wanted to just warm up into the idea of living in the van. So the first night was in a campground. That was just like camping. So I don't really count that as being the official first night. That was the night after that one. We went to a city called Sudbury, and we stayed at a parking lot. I'm pretty sure we were allowed to stay there. There were other RVs, and everything that we can find online said it was public parking, open 24/7. But because we weren't used to this, we didn't know exactly how to park. So we parked like way down there was a deep in the darkness, right up against bushes, and thinking, hey, cool, no one will see us here and we'll be fine. I slept maybe 2 hours that night because I thought I kept hearing something. It's like a gravel parking lot, so every now and then I thought I heard like people walking around us. Every now and then I thought I was hearing or feeling the van move a little bit, until eventually we both felt the van kind of like do a shake, as if someone was stepping or sort of trying to climb on the bumper somehow. So I climbed from the bed to the front here, looking in the mirrors, trying to see if I see anyone in the darkness. I don't think I can't remember very well, and it was dark and I was tired. I don't think I saw him in the mirrors, but I just bolted to the back and I peeked through the little Reflectix thing that we were using at the time to block the windows at night. Now we just use the curtains, as you can see right there. Those are like see-through, or not really see-through, like translucent curtains. So I peeled back the Reflectix and I just see someone like they look like me. They look like me, kind of a thing, like trying to look through. Though like I didn't see faces, so it all just looked dark. You know that those, what do they call the things from Lord of the Rings that are looking for the rings? The I can't remember. It's gonna look like I don't know anything about Lord of the Rings, but I do enjoy Lord of the Rings. I just can't remember what they are. The thing, you know what I'm talking about. It looked like that, and it was kind of scary. So I just like knock on the window, like kind of aggressively. And sometimes I don't know my own strength. I don't think I'm strong enough that I could have broken it, but it kind of hurt. So I just bang, knock the window, and he bolts. He or she, I don't know. And yeah, this is a cargo van, so like he probably was looking for tools. He probably was peeking in to see if he could see anything expensive that would be worth taking. So he ran off. I climbed back to the front. I turned on the car and I went directly under light. And that's essentially what I've been doing ever since. And no one has bothered us. We haven't had anyone trying to like stop near the van looking in or anything. And I would rather be in plain sight than in the darkness. Because in plain sight, everyone can see you, but I feel like you blend in. But when you're in the darkness, only the bad people can kind of spot you. They'll be like, what are you doing? Who are you? When you find out. So ever since then, no issues. No one has bothered us except in one place, in Calgary. We knew, or we suspected, that Calgary was a little bit van life unfriendly. And we managed to stay at the spot 2 nights. The first night, nothing happened, no big deal. Then during the day, I think we went to Drumheller to go see the dinosaur fossil stuff at the museum. And we drove all the way back. We could have stayed there. They also had a Walmart at the Drumheller. We could have stayed there. But we decided to drive all the way back to Calgary. And by the time we got there, we got there, we slept fine. And in the morning, we wake up to a note. They had our license plate and, hey, don't stay here. There's a couple of designated places you can stay, but we don't want you inside of this lot. So we felt like, hey, you know what? Let's just leave. I mean, we thought it through a little bit, but we ended up leaving. We went to Edmonton, and that was fine. But I'm talking a lot about parking and sleeping and all this stuff. Let's get into the juicy stuff. What did I like? Well, I mentioned the museum with the dinosaurs. I liked that. That was amazing. I liked seeing just the different wildlife that Canada has. I was hoping to at least see a bear, because it would be weird to spend, I don't know how long it was, like 2 to 3 months going from southern Ontario all the way to almost Vancouver and back and not see a bear. I feel like that would be a little bit strange. We saw a bear the very day we started to return. That, I don't know why it took so long, why they were waiting on us, but we saw a bear. It was a little, I think we saw actually 2 bears. But it was pretty nice. Yeah, the wildlife, the prairie dogs. I knew they existed, but then like just to see so many, and so many die on the road, it's so sad. Like you're driving, oh, you gotta like avoid running them over. But yeah, just the different climates even. There's deserts. I didn't think I knew this, that Canada has deserts. I stepped on a cactus. Like, that's strange. Maybe I'm ignorant. Maybe I just don't know enough about the Canadian geography, which, sure. Did I mention the mountains? I loved visiting the Canadian side of the Rocky Mountains. That was pretty cool as well. Though, meh, it was good. It was a fun experience. And that's how I would pretty much summarize the first year and a half, which was good enough. But that was just the traveling aspect. By the time we decided to return, where going there took maybe like 1 to 2 months. Yeah, probably about 2 months to go all the way almost to Vancouver. The way back was much faster because on the way there, the second that we find a place that we felt comfortable staying, we stayed there at least 3 or 4 nights because no one's bothering us, so we can stay. But on the way back, it's like, well, we're visiting the same spots to stay and no one's bothered us before, so we come, we stay, we go. And that was good too, but it was so much faster on the way home. But that was only until about August of last year, and it's already October of the next year. We've just been kind of hanging out in Ontario, going from place to place. Nothing too crazy, but we've still been visiting some spots here and there. And it's been nice. It's been hot, or well, it was hot during the summer, but it's still been kind of okay. Nothing bad has happened. Nothing terribly bad has happened. Nothing. We had to take a little break up until the beginning of October because my wife had a cyst on her head that she had to get removed, and we could have stayed in the van and like showering at the gym and all that, but it felt a little bit better if we just stayed at my parents' house for a little while, so we did that. We opted to take the easier way out. We could have done the other way, but we did it this way instead. Yeah, so it's been pretty okay. I don't know what else to say other than we are considering getting a dog. She really wants a dog. I would like a dog. I just don't want to commit so much on introducing another life into the van, and then if it makes us feel a little too too tight and running out of space kind of a thing. But we are trying to look into that, but we'll see how that goes. For now, it's been great. I like it. 4 out of 5. The extreme weathers are definitely the worst things about it. When it's thundering out there and you can see the lightning bolts, it's scary. It can definitely be scary at times. But overall, hey, as long as the hail doesn't crash through the skylight over there, the roof hatch, or if we get struck by lightning or something, everything's been fine so far. I don't think there's any, I have no reason to stop so far, though the weather this October, it's October 15th today, this October it's been warmer than last October. Last October was it was hard. We had like 10 days of like almost no sun. Now we have more sun, so it hasn't been an issue with the solar power coming in. And the daytime weather, at least the sun comes in every now and then, it warms up the van. But last year around the same time, it was just clouds, and already we had had snow like 2 or 3 times, and just cold overnight. But now we also have heated blankets, which should help. So let's see how that goes. We do have sort of like, if it gets too cold, we can absolutely go back to my parents' house and stay there for a while. And to some people, they'll consider that cheating or whatever the case may be, or that you're not real van lifers or whatever. I'm not keeping score. Listen, if I wouldn't go to someone, either a friend or a family's house during extreme weather, we'd probably get a hotel or something. We'd have to find a different way to be able to adjust to those extremes. That's one way that we can do it right now, but if we had to get a hotel, we would. When we were traveling to the West Coast, that was our plan. If things get a bit too bad, that's what we would do. And we did go to a campground like a couple of times, so it happens. But yeah, so far so good. I recommend it. Obviously, I'm not saying you should do it, but if it's something that you think you want to do it, hey, do it. You'll get to see the world a little bit. Just plan it out. Don't be silly. Don't do anything silly. I think that's it. Bye-bye.